I was watching Seth at Land a House, and I'm a little jealous that his viewership numbers are increasing faster than mine. And the only thing I can really tell that he does a little bit different is to do vlogs as additional content. And I have that same amount of additional content, but it takes a lot of time to record and edit it all together in a timely manner and try to coordinate it. Like when I was digging out underneath the porch here, that was quite a lot of time just recording the content and then storing it and then editing it all together over 2 months. And I don't know if maybe it would make more sense to do this sort of content where I do quick short updates on things so you guys can see interesting stuff sooner to when it happens and actually seeing it at all in the first place, because you know some of the stuff I just don't even bother recording. So that's that. I guess here's the rest of the vlog. And I'm also raking the leaves and straw and whatever that's been blown against the trees away from them so they don't rot. And like those trees over there, and then from around the hot tub too, but not necessarily the stumps because they're gonna get ground out eventually. And I mowed again today, just pushing the leaves off to the sides, just to keep the leaves off the grass so the grass doesn't get like matted down and moldy and rotten, because that's what leaves will do if you leave them on there. And then why do our stupid trees around here still have leaves? Like if you look around, a lot of the trees, like that tree there, no leaves. This tree, all leaves. So it's just a delayed falling of all of the leaves. Some trees will drop their leaves in, you know, a day, and then here I am stuck raking leaves any nice day there is late in the fall. Like it was 27 degrees last night. So a lot of you probably asked why I had the garden hose hooked up, spraying water to collect ice. Part of the reason is I was trying to keep the water flowing any way possible to keep the pipe from freezing until I get things set up. And anything I try to do here just creates a lot of velocity and creates erosion. So I want to minimize that. Also, it's loud. But if I run through the garden hose and then to my sprayer that I have to set back up because I mowed, then it's quiet and I get to collect ice. Apparently, when you collect ice, like what I kind of do a little bit, it's called an ice blob. And there are other places that do the same thing that I'm doing. I've known of some ski resorts that will do it, and then also I don't know, other places too. So all I do to set this up is I just kind of get some slack and I lay it there, and I take this chunk of railroad tie and I set it on it so it doesn't go anywhere, and then I turn it on. And I can show you guys the inside of the shed I got. When we were trying to set it up with a tractor, I kind of boogered up this edge, so I glued it back together. I don't know why it turned white. That's Tight Bond 3, so it should be outdoor, good enough for outdoor. So here's the inside. I have an extension cord running in here because it was still really green, but now that it's cooled down, it's not doing as much mold growth. And so I had the dehumidifier in here running to dry it out. And then I thought it was interesting. Like, it's pretty dark in here. You close the door and boom, it goes suddenly dark. And then we can see all the light seeping in through cracks. And then I don't have any fancy prop for the doors, so I just, there. I'll open the other door too, just so we get some extra light in here. The camera will appreciate it, I'm sure. So here's what I have inside the shed. I have these two shelves were inside the garage, and I built them on wheels because I can move them around. And this one is Shelfie Senior because it's the big one, and then Shelfie Junior. And these are just made from some doors, solid core doors that I got. I was going to use them in the house, but they just turned out to not be the right size and not very good shape. So I made shelves out of them. Probably not my best purchase. And then the casters I got from... oh, nope. Stay open. The casters I got from tearing apart some old dollies at an old workplace that I worked at. Because they were in the scrap pile. So I was able to save those casters. And then my wife's calling it the she shed, but it's mostly a lot of stuff that's like household garage stuff that you would find, not workshop garage stuff like I would use. Oh yeah, I crushed my finger moving something yesterday, so that hurts. Like, we got kayak stuff. There's kayak stuff. Well, that's a jet ski. Life jacket. And then kayak stuff. We have Jackson Trippers. Fantastic kayaks. And then some kids stuff and the bicycle. So the whole thing was, on this side we have boxes and things that don't stack or can get crushed easily. And then on this side we have things that can get stacked so that, well, we can fill it up to the roof. Like that one is above the roof, or above the wall line. That's crochet yarn that is my wife's. And then apparently a dusty all-terrain, it's the big wheel stroller. So that's what I have in here, and this allows me to have a lot more space in my shop. And here's my shop that I'm working on still, trying to clear it out. For the longest time, well, all the time really, I never had a completely open, accessible area here. I had a whole big pile of wood there up to the ceiling, about that wide. And then those shelves were full of stuff, and I got those cleared off. A lot of stuff that could go to the shed. I still have some stuff to move out of the way and sweep the floors. And part of the whole reason is so that I can demo this wall. But I have to remove these shelves because they're up against that wall. Because this wall is blocking putting in the ceiling because it goes all the way up to the ceiling. So it needs demoed out of the way. Just like I did a matching wall on this side, and this is all of the wood that I moved, or most of it. See all that was stacked up over there. A lot of this, most of this is like, it's 90% hardwood. You have a lot of maple, ash, beech, oak, and then the dark ones here are black walnut too. And then all of these are numbered boards for house trim that I have to mill up. And this is all wood that I salvaged from the roof that was here, the old rafters. So that's what those are going to be for. To mill those up, I was going to use my 12-inch joiner planer. It's a 3 horsepower, 220 volt, but I need to get knives for it still. And then here's this compressor that I fixed up that I need to sell. I have some video on it, but I was waiting until I sell it to put the video out. If anybody wants a 80 gallon, or is it 60 gallon, I don't remember exactly, 2 horsepower, 220 volt compressor, and you're in kind of the western PA area, or if you know of somebody, let me know. I'm trying to sell that for around $250. It works great. I had to put on some new controls, so that's a new switch and some fresh fittings there. Because the old ones, all of this stuff was mounted to the wall, and now all of it's mounted to the machine, so the machine's portable. You know, the control box there, which goes to that switch. And I had replaced the skids too, and right now it's on these casters, so I can move the whole thing because it's like 400 pounds. Let's see other stuff that I have going on. I need to build a material rack or do something with these materials that I got from my neighbor. I have some other stuff like welding table can finally be set up. I have some parts for a DeWalt MBC. I have the rest of it too. It's over there in the corner. So that needs put together. I might sell that. And then I have another one over here too that's together. It has a stand that's made for it. Might sell that. One of them needs bearings and the other one had like a junk table, so I had to redo the table. Actually, one of these I bought from a guy up in New York State that I was in his shop, and the saw was in his shop because he had used it to partially help build his house. And I look up on the shelf, like behind the saw, and I see 2 Pelton wheels. So I need to see if he ever actually did anything with them, or maybe if I can do a collaboration with him to get his project running, or see if he got anything done. So that'll be interesting. He lives on a big hillside and it overlooks Lake Erie. So it's really cool up there. And then there's this belt sander that I hardly ever use. And then it's on well, you can't see it, but a roller stand, Bora. This is a 6x48 with a 9-inch disc. And it's got both tables, but they don't match. Whatever. Don't use it much, and it kind of drifts sometimes, so it's I don't know, it's not very good for me. Maybe somebody else wants this too. Here's my table saw. I don't know where exactly I'm going to put the table saw. I kind of like the idea of it being against the one wall, because really you don't need to walk around the other side of the table saw ever. You know, it's best to have this side open. And then I have a lot of clear space in the middle of the floor. But I want to have also I might just leave the table saw there. If I have some really long stuff, actually I could pull it out a little bit so it lines up with the doorway. And if I ever have really long stuff, like if it's over here a little bit, then I can put the long stuff through the doorway. And that like artificially increases the depth of the room that it's in. Plus the natural light is cool too. And then I also want to have like a workbench probably here or somewhere that I can stand at and do videos, and then set the camera up so that my backdrop there is going to be my nice white wall. And then, I don't know, maybe that organization stuff will stay there, or maybe it'll move somewhere else. It's only attached to the wall with, I think, like 8 screws for all of that. But really, I need to add longer ones too, so I can do all of those in the same storage method. Yes, I have 2 joiners. I have 2 planers too. I mean, my 12-inch machine is a joiner planer, so now I have redundant machines. As soon as I get the blades in for it. Last night I was rocking out while I was cleaning up some stuff. I hooked up this old subwoofer that I built. It's a 10-inch Rockford Fosgate with a 100-watt amp. And then these are Dayton B652 speakers, I think. Just cheapies, but good ones. I was tearing apart some other stuff. So when we bought the building, there was a whole bunch of medical stuff on these shelves. Like old medical equipment for veterinary use that had been, like, I don't know, obsolete. And the doctor decided to upgrade, but the old stuff was still working. So the old stuff just got stuck here. So I've been kind of looking through and tearing apart some of it. This is I forget the name of it. It helps with measuring blood pressure. And I looked it up on eBay. Here's the cover plate. These aren't worth a whole lot. So come on, focus. I was taking it apart to see what's inside it, because it was only worth like $20, and it's not even worth me listing and shipping something like this that I can't confirm that it works. So I was tearing it apart to get a whole lot of parts. And I got some interesting parts, like inside it has a diaphragm pump. Ironically, the diaphragm pump inside it can sell on eBay for more than the unit whole. And then it also had these memory chips, EPROMs, and then there's a few other microcontrollers that were in it, so I salvaged those out of it too. I think if you were to take this and sell all of the parts individually that you can get out of it, you'd probably get like 50 or 60 bucks out of it. What else did it have? Like this Evo 3 12 volt DC. This is I think it's a valve, 12 volt valve. And then this pressure sensor too came out of it. Very low pressure sensor, 255 millimeters of mercury, nominal. And then I got a whole bunch of really cool little switches. Look at that cute little thing. And then I got some 8-segment displays. I don't know if I'm ever going to use these for anything. And then some other connectors and stuff out of it. So I was thinking about doing a teardown video of a second one. Sorry, that was kind of quick. A second one. So we'll turn it on and see what it does. Might have some of the equipment in the hospital to verify that it does work and then tear it apart. So that'll be interesting. Oh, what else to talk about here? I don't know. And there's a whole lot of insulation. This insulation will go up in the ceiling here. For the longest time, I had 2 big shelves here right in the middle. And then the compressor, that compressor there was here in the middle. When I bought the building, it was sitting right here. And then I moved it here because I needed a little bit of space here. And then there was a whole bunch of wood here, and then there was a whole bunch of wood here, and it's just, had nowhere to put anything. But finally, I have this room, and it's really exciting to just walk around and look at all that. It needs cleaned up. I realize that. But it makes me excited. Anything over here? I don't know. Here's a biltong box that I built. Biltong is a type of jerky. It's an Australian jerky. So I might do a video on making biltong sometime in the future. This is the blower I was going to turn into a air filter. And I got the filter material for it, so that's another future project. And then these two guys run. They both run, but they need fixed up to be operational. This one, the handle's not attached anymore. And then missing some other parts too. Well, no, this one has the handle here, and this one does not have the handle. So like you have to hold it engaged, whereas the handle would lock it in engaged mode for you. That's another future video. And then I have a big saw down there. That's a future video. And then these are dressers that my wife got from her grandmother who recently passed away. And she was stripping all the paint off of this, and now it's ready to be finished. And then here's some storage shelves that I did for some really long pieces of wood, 12-footers or 13-footers. And then some plywood storage, because I don't really have any other convenient places to put it right now. Because my other wood rack is also full. So just wood for lots of projects. What do we got here? This is wormy American chestnut. You can't get that anymore. It's pretty rare because of all of the beetles or worms or something that ate them. I forget which. Let's see if there's anything over here interesting that you guys might care about. Yeah. Here's a second battery that I have. Matches the other one. I don't know, CNC machine that I need to fix and sell as a pair. Here's an old X-ray processor. Need to list this online and try to sell it. There's a lathe I was talking about. That's a Shoreline lathe, CNC. And this is a Shoreline mill, also CNC. I had made this storage for these tubs. Just trying to prototype out something, and I didn't like how long it took to make it. So I actually did this before I did that wire rack that's over there. And I didn't know what to do with it. So right here it has things that are more garage related, like this is air tool stuff. And then more air tool stuff because my compressor is right there. I don't know. And then some assorted hardware that I need to sort through. I did the final mowing today. I set the mower really low, again, to prevent the grass from laying down and molding on itself and rotting. And then any leaves that do collect, if we get a sudden big gust of wind, a lot of the leaves will push off the side of the yard into the ditch. So then I don't have to take care of them. I also did a live stream, and that was an interesting, different experience than the previous times that I've done it. So I've been thinking about doing more of them more regularly as well. Kind of like Jehu does it every Monday, except I can't guarantee that I'd be available every time on the same day, unless it's during the middle of the day when everybody else is busy and then I'm free. So I don't know what will come of that. And I had some really good donations, like fantastically awesome donations. So the same guy, around here somewhere. There we are. It was Trent, same guy that donated a few things like this battery that I've been using like a lot on this impact driver because it's the perfect size for it. He did a pretty big donation. I had used this battery on this saw a lot when I was cutting the boards I show you guys, all the hardwood boards, because a lot of them they had like knotty ends, and that's why I have them, because they were free, because they were scrap. So I was cutting off the sharp, pointy, knotty ends, and I was trying to use this battery in this saw, and it wasn't cutting it. I just made that pun up. Pun not intended. It wasn't cutting some of the thicker, I guess they would be 6/4 hard maple, if you could imagine, with this dull blade. So maybe this isn't necessarily the best. This is a 2 amp battery, best size for a saw, because it just doesn't have the amps to run it. Not like a 5 amp battery has more power capacity. Again, thanks for those donations. Fantastic. I do plan on building a computer also sometime soon. There's a guy in one of my previous, I think it was the live stream, he's commenting about helping me select better components than I had already selected, which I thought were a pretty good choice to begin with. But he might just have know of better deals or slightly better combinations that I can build into a powerful editing computer that won't take as much time. And Alex Benz, I just got your comment that you didn't get notice that I was doing a live stream, and I just decided to do it last moment. Like, you would have gotten maybe a half-hour maximum notice, and the live stream was 2 hours long, so I don't know how much that would have helped. Sorry. Also, I was coming back from doing the deposit at the bank today, and somebody rear-ended me. That doesn't look so bad. It's hardly even dented in there. But it's hitting my tailgate here, so this was pushed in, and there's a lip there. So it pushed in the panel here in my truck too. So that's something else I have to deal with. I'll maybe have more details once it's all done, but I don't want to do anything else now in case there's like legal ramifications. It's not my fault. I even have video of the guy saying, yeah, I didn't see you. I was coming around so after the light, there's a bend, and there was 2 cars in front of me. 2 cars in front of me, there was a car that was turning left. So I was stopping, and this guy was coming through the intersection behind me and hit me with his Honda. And here's the intersection that happened at. I was turning right here, and just like this, 2 cars ahead of me was turning left into that drive there. So I stopped, and the guy ran into me. And I'll show a picture here of the damage to his car compared to the damage of my car. So it's a big difference. I was cutting these shelves out, and then I was thinking, man, this, like, one bay, I'll call this one bay, of my shop here is the same size as Seth's entire shop, Seth of Land to House. I don't know how he can work in such a small space. And he's trying to run a business out of there. That's got to be difficult. Props to you, Seth, for going forward with it anyways. I admire you for being able to sell a product that is right within your niche, and additional props for going to sell it on eBay, or additional props for going to sell it on Amazon. That's a fantastic job. I was thinking I could maybe contract out, make and sell some hydro parts, or maybe even like plans for water wheels. So I don't know. There's a lot of things that I could sell too. I still haven't heard from anybody about designs for a t-shirt or a hat, because I know you, Seth, you like having those things for sale to get your brand out there, and I feel like I should be doing the same thing, if only so that I can wear a shirt that's my own that I will be proud of. And if you like this sort of content, please just let me know, yay or nay, because I don't know if it's my style. If you guys think it's my style, I've never done anything kind of quite like this. And I don't know what sort of release schedule this would be, if it would be more of a weekly thing or semi-weekly, or just as I get a chance to, just to show you what I have going on that's not necessarily worth a full video. So let me know in the comments, and I'll see you guys around next time.